And now, Hangar 56 Media presents Spike's Car Radio, a downloadable cars and coffee, hosted by writer, comedian, and automotive enthusiast Spike Ferriston. Now, here's Spike.
Stop.
Like the Pixies, then you have to like Surfer Rosa. I think late 90s. These guys are amazing. We're podcasting out at Baldwin Hills on a Saturday night. We've just eaten Mexican food. You're listening to the Pixies with us. We're smoking bolivars. Zuckerman is back from his Rosie O'Donnell cruise. It's Earth, Wind, and Fire here today. You like the Pixies, Jerry? Do you even know what a pixie is?
No, what's a pixie?
Never mind. Welcome to Spike's Car Radio. Zuckerman is showing pictures of himself on vacation with his shirt open and a medal.
Cigar smoker. Yeah.
You guys were live. The mics are up.
So, okay.
Why are you showing people pictures of you? You look like a Boogie Nights character in that
Yes,
picture.
that was the whole point of that picture.
That was the point.
That was the point.
Is that how you dressed on vacation?
No. I was out at dinner with my friend Adrian from Nike, who you know, and he gave me his gold chain and his glasses, and I opened up my shirt to my pippic and took on that persona.
That's funny.
Is it?
I was just I was putting forth a theory that I think what's missing, the missing jigsaw puzzle piece in Zuckerman's life is the cigar. Look at his face, Spike.
Yeah, he
it's
is
a cigar face. It's already disfigured. It's already marred. It's already soiled. That's what a cigar is. You take you revel in your depravity. That's what a cigar is. You revel in it. Yes, I am not so good. I'm not healthy. I'm not doing anything useful. I'm burning leaves and just putting them in my mouth.
Foul, disgusting.
Yes, you're admitting your essential nature. You're putting forth the image of your essential nature with a cigar.
I'm a walking cigar.
Yes, you're saying I'm beastly.
Maybe it's a cigar on a cigar if he has a cigar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. That's
Have you ever tried to smoke a cigar?
Yeah, why
Yes.
not? What happened?
Made you sick?
No, it didn't. I smoked cigarettes. I did smoke
It
cigars.
had nothing to do with it.
I understand, but
I
I
did
don't.
too, and-
I understand. I don't feel comfortable ingesting any nicotine after what it took me to quit that horrible vice of cigarettes.
But I got no problem with pie.
Give me some more pie.
Give me some more pie.
Hey, pass the pie. You already had 2 pieces.
And so,
Have another.
It's good pie.
Excellent pie. What's your favorite?
Zuckerman. That'll be his funeral. That'll be on the headstone. He had no problem with pie. And I don't mean 3.1417.
Oh boy. I need to update the audience on this Hodinky watch I was trying to buy. You missed this whole thing, but I was trying to buy a watch. Jerry had me thinking about numbers of things, buying a car based on the number. You like the car, but then you have to like the number. It has to have meaning. So I started chasing this Hodinky Carrera Dato 45 remake, 250 made. And I reached out to a bunch of dealers that had them, and not a single one would tell me the number, Zuckerman. And then, I introduced them, and I said, well, I'm not a counterfeiter. I really want to buy the watch. He said, we can't tell you. You can buy it, but we can't tell you the number because you might, it's a matter of principle, said Del Rey Watch. Well, one of the listeners, Jiling Lee, a collector from Houston, Texas, immediately reached out and said, I have number 91.
Oh.
9-1.
It's a nice number.
9-1. It's got a 9 in it. It's
And a
almost
one.
a 911, but they only made 250. And he and I had a great conversation. We know the same watch people. We know Ben Clymer, and he sold me the watch this week.
You know how satisfying it is to pass on an obsession to obsession contagion. I gave him my number, obsession. I love that. It's so satisfying for me. I passed it on.
It did make it really harder, as I suspected. Trying to get the thing and the right number is really, really hard.
It started when we ended the series. I thought, when do I end the series? And I started thinking, well, we've done it for 9 years. And I thought, that's a nice number. 10 is like disgusting already. You've been on the air for 10 years. Jesus Christ, it's like enough already. 9 was my last chance to have a little brevity, they didn't overdo it. You know what I mean?
Save your dignity, just a sliver of it.
So I kind of latched on that. The Beatles were together 9 years, and then I started looking around my life, and I saw 9s everywhere. Now, I don't know if I was making it up. I was born in 1954.
5 and 4 is 9.
Yeah, my first.
Yes.
Some 9s everywhere. I don't think it's
my
it's
favorite
real.
actor. It's Ernest Borg. 9.
Then you take a drill like the movie Pi. You drill your brain because you see the number pi everywhere. Remember Darren Aronofsky movie?
I got 9 fingers.
If I raise one up, there's 9 left.
So it really doesn't matter if it adds up to 9 or
You got to make
I don't really
9
want to talk about it. It's a very personal thing. And it's something I enjoy enormously. I don't always get numbers that I like, but I enjoy configuring them in different ways. Mm-hmm. It's led to watches now. They have to have right numbers. Cars, of course, VIN numbers. Anything that comes in limited numbers, I would like a number that I relate to in some way, and then you find ways to relate to them.
That's what I was going to say. You find a car, you have a very amazing collection. Sometimes it's one of 3 cars. How do you have 3 VIN numbers. One's only going to be available maybe in your lifetime, 550s, other things. How do you rationalize that? 55005003, right? Isn't that one of your cars?
Yes, it is.
550003.
Yeah. Well, I like 3s.
And then if you would
3s are the essential elements of 9s. There's 3 3s.
if you would take the sum, you would get 55503. That's 18. 1 plus 8's 9.
Oh,
I understand what you're doing.
Wait a second. How did you get 5503?
Well, okay, if you had 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus
Where'd you get
3.
the third 5?
Okay.
It's 550.
Oh,
It's 550.
Wow, I missed.
You got me so excited there for a second.
But it's 13 is what it adds.
It is
up to.
13,
But
yeah.
there are 13 letters in my name, Spike Ferriston.
Oh.
I like 13s.
I think it's a fun thing. I encourage all kinds of numerical obsession. Again, we're talking about things that are finite and things that are not open to interpretation.
Zuckerman.
That's another thing I think
letters.
people find comfort in numbers. Not open to interpretation.
So will you ever let it not interfere with the buying? Will
Yes.
you go, you know what, I won't buy it?
I told you when I got interested in the Sport Classic, I talked to my friends at the company, and I said, I'm interested in the Sport Classic, but only if I can get a number that I want. And there are many that I could be happy with, but I didn't know if they were all sold out. I didn't know what was left. And it was a beautiful moment that they had already set aside a number for me, a number that they know I like.
666. The devil. Let me guess. I think we all know those numbers.
Don't say the number.
But I think we all know what they would be. It's not hard. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
Is that my cigar that just fell off? Let's do an ad. Collecting cars. CollectingCars.com sent me the same cars again. So I found some cool cars that they have for sale that are going up for sale right now.
Why do they send you the same ones?
I don't know. I haven't had time to call the producer and see what's going on. But this is upcoming auction. 1965 Fiat 600 in blue. The 600 is a charming, cosmetically restored example of the classic city car presented in appealing color scheme and largely unmodified condition, featuring its original rear-mounted 633cc Tipo 100 inline 4. Look at that car.
I like
71 Porsche 911 T22 in Turkish blue.
What?
I should be working for these folks. I knew exactly the cars to pick out for this audience. Turkish blue.
Never even heard of that color.
Yeah, well, there it is. That's why I pulled it.
Can I look at it?
Well, there's just a picture. I don't have the details yet. It's coming up. And then this 1981 Renault 5 Turbo 1 with 31,000 original miles. The Phase 1 Renault 5 Turbo is an iconic 1980s hot hatch, which has been comprehensively restored. It is powered by a turbocharged 1.4 liter. This is something you would like, Zuckerman. Believed to be one of only 1,820 Turbo 1 models. It is our belief.
Believed to be, thought to be, said to be.
Never driven outside of San Diego.
PMU, true mileage unknown. That's another one I like.
But look at the color. It's white with red decals. There are no selling fees, so if you want to sell your car, get 100% of the hammer price. You can also keep possession until the successful buyer collects. CollectingCars.com. Check them out.
Zuckerman, what was the last car that really had you in its grips, and then you were released back into the wild? What car were you really close, and then you at the last second you went, nah?
There's been a couple of Ferraris.
Really?
A couple of those older Ferraris that you start looking at how pretty they are.
60s.
Yeah, or even earlier, you take a 250 GT Elena, right? The one with the Boano roof. And it's got that very delicate roof that's not so heavy as the Pininfarina 250. It's got a very delicate roof with a very small C-pillar and kind of a rounded rear glass.
Punches.
It's very, very. There's one, in fact, right now at Fantasy Junction. It's black with a gold top, and that very small, thin gold top is amazing.
Wow.
So I start looking at those, and I really get taken away.
Yeah.
That I could be that guy, who I'm not, right? I'm not. I don't think I could really drive that car. Maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
But I fantasize about those cars.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, it's making a weird sound, who am I going to call?
Right. The practicalities of it. We're spoiled by the German cars.
Yeah.
That always work.
Yeah.
The illnesses, the problems are minor. That you can and there's plenty of people who can deal with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of Ferrari guys. I know the Ferrari community very well.
Yeah, but it's a hard thing to dabble in. You got to get, if you're going to do it, you got to really get into it.
You're all in. It's not one.
Yeah.
Not one outlier. And
Oh, you can have one outlier. I've always had one. It's fine.
You didn't. The stuff you had is 60s and 70s stuff. It's more reasonable. He's talking 50s stuff.
50s, they're a little too delicate.
Yeah.
They don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. The stuff that I've driven, I wouldn't want to drive a lot.
The older stuff.
The older stuff,
What's the oldest Ferrari you've ever driven?
1998.
What?
I would guess something in the 50s, I think.
But you don't recall it.
I don't. I've gone 250 short wheelbase. I did. When
You
I
drove a
was
250
in
short wheelbase.
when I was in Italy at Lago di Como.
Wow.
I drove something from 1952, a little screamer.
Wow.
And it was wild. It was only made for that road in Lake Como.
It was a
crazy
four-cylinder
little
version?
screamer. Yeah.
it was a little.
I don't remember the car, but I remember how weird it drove.
Oh, yeah.
But it was still beautiful and fun, and to be there with that scenery just made it great, but it would never work outside of that situation.
You know, I have a friend with maybe one of the greatest Ferrari collections in the world, name withheld. And
He's wearing his shirt.
I drove that 59 pontoon fender, what is it, TR?
Yeah, Testarossa.
Yeah. It was a horrible experience. I was counting the seconds till it was over.
Yeah.
It was so horrible.
Yeah.
You don't feel like you're in any control of it at all. It's a terrifying machine.
Yeah, that's what I felt.
Yeah.
It felt out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, and smelly.
Yeah. But
And
I
hot.
also drove his 250 GTO, which is the most exciting car I've ever driven in my life.
Yes, that's where it
The
starts.
GTO is worth every penny.
Yep.
All those crazy numbers, these things are worth it.
And I like a Dino. I like a
Dinos
good
are
Dino.
cool. I drove the 250 short wheelbase. It's a Camaro.
He just
another
wrote off
quote.
all these people with these 8-figure cars. Meh, a Camaro. Who cares?
Italian Camaro. No, they're nice. You used to really love the Lusso.
I still do.
Yeah,
I
that's
still
gorgeous,
do.
gorgeous
I would
car.
Lusso it as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My tastes are changing. You know, we should talk about the GT3 Touring. And Jerry, very kindly, Zuckerman, bought us new tires for that car.
Did you know that? I bought you a set of tires?
I heard while I was away.
Yeah.
They're on the car. Have you driven it yet?
I have not. It was in the garage. I moved it over in the garage just a little bit. Couldn't get a sense of it. I just needed to get it out of the way today.
Right. I have the old tires in my hangar if we want to go back to them, but we got to put some miles on them.
I'm going to take it tomorrow.
I'm hearing the P0 is going to get better and better the more we drive them. We just have to, put some miles on it. I really want to know what you think.
So when you look at the original tires sitting there, do they look insane? Just there's no
I haven't
tread on
been
them?
to my hangar to see them. They're redoing my hangar right now. I haven't been out there. We've been busy.
Yeah.
We've been busy. But we talked about this last week on the podcast, and some tire snobs were laughing at me saying, Spike doesn't know that he's a turbo guy. He should just get a turbo.
Stupid.
And Johnny Lieberman leading that charge, the moronic Johnny Lieberman, as if I had never driven any of these cars and I didn't know what I wanted. I'm a helpless little lamb. And then someone sent me the new GT3 RS spy shots, tire shots. Guess what they're on the car? P0s, Pirelli P0s. I'm sure they test a lot of tires, but they're testing the very tire that we have on the car.
That's a top of the line. P0s and Michelin.
But don't you think that they might be thinking they put the wrong tire on this new
Absolutely.
GT3?
Who knows? I don't know.
I think so.
I think so. And if you're tracking the car, no, definitely not. It's a track tire. It's great. If that was my primary mode of driving that car, it'd be great. But why are you tracking a Touring? No one's been able to explain that to me yet.
Right. Well, it's still
Why
a GT.
why are you
still a GT3?
But why, if you're a track guy,
You still
you
may
get the
want,
wing.
You still may want a low profile around town. That's I understand that. There's got to be
But
a
you won't
master.
be
There's a
tracking
plan
a Touring,
here that
is
we
my-
can't see that they're laying out.
It's like God's plan. There's a plan we
think
can't
so?
see.
They've clearly moved the GT3 RS-wise. Mm-hmm. They've
Pushed it further out.
Yeah, so the RS obviously has to go further, and then something else is going to come in, maybe in between. I don't know.
They slice it thinner every time.
Yeah.
so you have no plans to get a GT3 or a Touring yourself?
No, I don't. I found myself. I got sucked into the Sport Classic. I spec'd it. I love it. I can't wait for it.
What do you think about it?
Totally into it.
He wants one.
I would like one. In fact, I heard some news about it. I heard there is, even Galpin, where Dean is, they did not get an allocation.
Really?
Wow.
They
Well,
did
there's
not.
only 1,000 cars, right? Or
Right.
a little over 1,000.
$12.50.
So there is another dealership, I am told, that has an allocation, and they are willing to sell their car. You just need to pay $300,000 over sticker. So you got to pay $300,000 today, and you have to put the $300 down, and then $300 basically
Jeez.
upon receipt.
That's
Yes,
unwholesome. Yeah. That's
Gross.
It's impolite. It's egregious. It's outrageous.
Reprehensible.
It's reprehensible.
Jackie Giles.
Despicable.
Outrageous. Preposterous.
It's preposterous. We have a new sponsor, Zuckerman Upside. Speaking of high prices, from cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us hard and all right where it hurts. It really hurts. That's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. With every purchase, you're earning cash back thanks to Upside. You got to check out Upside to get started. Download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play. Use my promo code SPIKE911. Get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying at Upside. Check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit card or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash with Upside. You understand what they're doing here?
Remember the last time we had runaway rampant inflation in the 70s? The product that was introduced then was Hamburger Helper.
Yeah.
Now this is the Hamburger Helper of 2022.
I like
Upside.
the idea of this company, which is why I said yes. You know how you get those credit card miles?
Yeah.
They're kind of worthless. American Airlines, or with American Express, you get points. You can get some sneakers and a couple things. This is one that's kind of, you get lots of practical stuff like groceries and gas for free. You spend money, you make money. Download the free Upside app and use promo code SPIKE911 to get $5 or more cash back on the first purchase. $10 or more, that's $5 more cash back on your first purchase. $10 more using promo code SPIKE911. Upside, welcome to the Spikes Car Radio family. All right, what else we could talk about? We got Dear Zuckerman. We got questions. We should catch everybody up on all the... Everybody wants to... They want our point of view on a couple of big stories.
Okay.
This one, which Zuckerman, I'm sure you were sent as well. The future of cars is a subscription nightmare. Heated seats, remote start key fobs, and other creature comforts are likely to become the subject of monthly and annual fees. Have you heard about this? Subscription-based access to vehicle features like heated seats?
What?
Yeah.
Remote start key fobs are the latest attempt to charge people for things that their car already came with.
You can't do that.
Earlier this week, some media outlets noticed that BMW was selling $18 a month subscriptions to heated seats.
Stop it.
In a number of countries in South Korea. The German automaker had previously tried and failed to get customers to pay $80 a month for access to Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
Oh, my God.
Jerry.
This is like when they started putting TV commercials in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
And the audience rebelled for a while, and then they got tired, and then they just ate it. And they sat through it. And they have these, imagine these meetings that they must have to generate these ideas. How can we just drain them a little more?
It's really
money grubbing.
It's
Ghanif meeting today at 11 o'clock.
We're going to sell them a car. They're going to own it, but they won't own the heated seats.
Yeah. You pay that, you have to pay monthly. That really burns my ass.
What was it? Fry my huevos.
That frosts my huevos.
It's so depressing. It's so depressing that you're buying something like that you have to subscribe to.
I tear the seat out and throw it right through headquarters window.
What
Yeah.
they don't see, here's the sadness. The sadness is that you don't see that your brand has a halo, has a glow to it, that we genuflect.
Right.
If you love a brand of car, whatever it is, or of anything, but of course cars in particular, you like to fall in love with a brand for whatever reason. And they damage that relationship. You can't feel the same about BMW when you read that. You can't.
No, they become a discount air carrier where you have to pay. You have to pay for your snack, for your luggage.
Yeah, it's a grift.
Yeah, it's
It's a strip
grift.
joint.
Yeah.
3 drink minimum. Come to
Right.
the champagne room with your new BMW. You want to open your car door? $18 a month.
Every time you get a bill.
Or you can pay by the open.
It's like a pay toilet. Remember pay toilets? What are you doing that to people for? They got to take a crap. Let them in there. Oh, we can get them for a dime.
A dime, or they shit their pants. That's the choice they have.
What if you don't have a dime? What a sick idea the pay toilet was. The cruelty of man never ends. There's no limit.
It's like charging for air, Zuckerman. You're the one who told me that they're not allowed in California to charge for air. So if it says you have to pay them $1, you can just say, I'm not going to pay it, right?
You can walk in to the kiosk inside the gas station and say, turn the air on, and they have to do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How does that work? What do you mean?
Again,
what is the law?
They can't. That's the law that if upon request, they have to provide you with the air. So you have to walk in. You can, and they've got a little button. The guy behind the glass has a button. He can turn on the air pump for you and the water.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Another
All right,
little
next,
scam.
what else do the listeners want to know about?
I want to know how we're going to fix this problem. This subscription thing has really pissed me off. Really
Because
upsetting.
who cares about BMW right now anyway? There are so few cars in their product line that I like.
Do they really need money that badly?
What
Heated
else have
seat
they got to do?
subscriptions?
What else have they got to do?
Are they
Figure out how to make more money. That's what a business
So
is.
depressing. There's a lot of action going on at Malibu Country Mart, Cars and Coffee down there. As you know, Zuckerman, a cease and desist sent to young Jacob Leroy, who's Malibu Audubon. If he does not stop advertising a car show, which I don't know what they mean by advertising. I think he just posts he's going to meet his friends for coffee at the coffee shop, that they will take action. This city controller named Doug Cheeseburger or something.
Zuckerman, you're a professional attorney.
Yeah, what is this?
Why desist? Why can't they just cease? Well, why do they have to cease and desist?
Because we have to say everything in triplicate,
Right.
in double, in carbon copy. One word's not enough for us.
What is cease and desist? What is
It's the same thing. You got to stop and you got to stop.
He's a code
Stop and hold it.
He's a code enforcement manager for the city of Malibu. By all accounts, he's a schmuck, according to the Malibu folks I talked to today. And he's not apparently smart enough to know he's making a threat that he can't carry out to a bunch of kids who want to fight. What is this stupidity?
First of all, this letter is worthless. This is a worthless letter.
Do you know what Jacob wanted to do with it? He texted me and he said, should I turn this into a T-shirt for everybody? And I said, yeah. It's a great T-shirt. Turn it into a T-shirt. And then he CC'd our friends in the sheriff department and the president and Martians, all the important people, to scare these kids into stop getting coffee at the mall.
Do you want the legal analysis?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, this Title 17 that they quote, the Title 17 in the Malibu City Code has to do with zoning, but it's more broad than any zoning law I've ever seen. And so if you want to enforce a law, it cannot be vague. How could a citizen, if I wanted to look up, what is he talking about in Title 17 that I'm breaking? What am I violating? You would have no idea. You could go in there and be looking at somebody's specific zoning plans for a development somewhere in Malibu. Right. This is so vague that it's unenforceable. Moreover, you've got what's called a prior restraint on free speech. If Jacob Roy wants to say to his friends, let's go for coffee, and they tell him you can't say that, that's actually a First Amendment violation. Of course. So this is dumb. Mr. Roy's got a choice. If he wants, we could bring a declaratory relief action against the city of Malibu, tie them up in knots, or just wait till they try to enforce that against them and sue under a Civil Rights Act.
It sounds like you would take that case.
Yeah, I would. This is just so dumb. Listen, Ferguson, we have problems in Malibu. We've got global warming. We've had 600 houses burned down. We have homelessness. We have drug problems. You name it, we've got problems. If there was a list of 1,000 problems, this would be in the bottom 10 of problems. Why are they spending their time doing this?
Malibu resident Paul Zuckerman. And we now have crime at the Malibu Country Mart,
yes,
as we said last week. Bill told me about 2 or 3 more crimes, people's luggage being stolen out of their cars. There was that little smash and grab that happened, and these dopes are focused on us.
And imagine
old men getting coffee.
Old men getting coffee.
And young Jacob Leroy, who's a good kid.
And here's the last thing. Don't they identify that there's a need they could fill? Instead of trying, obviously people want a car show. Why don't they organize a car show?
Well, they have organized something. There was an announcement just came out that starting tomorrow in one of the lots, here's the other thing, they're all different lots. Not Bill's lot, but that big lot next door. From 7 a.m., the lot will be open from 7 to 9 p.m., but it's valet parking only.
Oh, that's going to work. That's going to work real well.
That lot that has a constant flow of traffic.
Yeah.
We were told today they were having valet practice yesterday, and they had 3 valets.
We're also going to valet park the 405 after that. If you want to enter the 405, you're going to hand your car to a valet. He'll take it to your exit, and you'll meet him there. He'll give you the car back.
So you can see that they correctly calculated that most of us don't want our cars valet parked, but they incorrectly forgot about, what is it, about 100 people coming in a minute into that place who are just using the place? It's not us. That's just people patronizing, and they're going to make them valet their car and then wait?
Half of that.
3 guys can't even cover a restaurant between the pickups and the drops.
Half of that lot is actually just through traffic. What are they going to do about the through traffic that's driving from that parking lot to the next parking lot?
Everybody gets towed, and again, they're going to make judgment calls based on the car coming in.
Oh, do we have the right people to make judgment calls?
Which is discriminatory. Well, already, friends of mine are saying, let's have motorcycles. Let's bring our motorcycles tomorrow, or let's bring 3 on the tree old cars. And I haven't even been down there for a while, but I am dying to see these valets work. And I'll tell you one thing I know for sure: you can't buy a valet in the state of California. There's no amount of money that'll let them.
Not even $20, Ferris?
Well, no, actually, if you offer $20,
you're talking real money.
Now you're talking real money, Zuckerman. But that's the latest with this stupid war with the Malibu Country Mart.
Conquest of the useless category.
Yeah, they really are focused on the wrong thing. You're exactly right. You live there, and
the premise of their whole life.
Yeah, and what a weird thing. What a weird way to spend their time. All right, we're gonna do. You want to do Dear Zuckerman first in questions, or questions and then Dear Zuckerman? What do you guys think?
I don't care.
Yeah, let's do questions.
And then a Dear Zuckerman.
Or mix
questions is always feels like an ending, doesn't it?
Okay, then we'll do Dear Zuckerman.
Let's talk about Aura first. We all do a lot to keep ourselves and our families safe.
Right,
we wear our seatbelts when we drive. We replace our brake pads when they wear, and we lock the car door when we leave the driveway. But what do we do to keep ourselves safe online? Did you know that 2020 was the first year where financial losses from digital crime surpassed those of burglary? Zuckerman was a victim of digital crime, weren't you? Yet Americans continue to spend 10 times more to protect their home. Cybercrime is on the rise. And this is in the ad. Look at this. Our own Mr. Zuckerman was hacked by AlphaCat a few months ago, and cleaning up the mess is a pain in the ass. Look at that. It's in the ad, Zuckerman.
Wow.
They know this.
How did they know that? Zuckerman, they want you to say, what did they take? They just locked you out. What did you have to do to resolve it? You had to call in a team, right? They have, this is a whole Zuckerman ad that they've written here for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
It was a big fat pain in the ass because we had to reconstruct all sorts of hard drives they tried to melt.
Wow. Well, it's a big problem. Zuckerman can attest to it. Aura's on the mission to create a safer internet. Aura's proactive solution allows you to take control of your online life with a range of simple features, no matter who you are, where you connect. Aura has you protected.
I thought it was the Aura ring that I wear, my biometric ring.
That's the Aura, not the Aura.
Oh, that's the Aura.
Now, for limited time only, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day free trial plus a check of your data to see if you have already been part of a data breach. All for free when you visit aura.com/spike911. Aura.com/spike911. Go to aura.com, aura.com/spike911. Sign up for a 14-day free trial. Check it out. They're cool enough to write a Zuckerman ad. Another new sponsor here. How great is that?
Excellent.
All right. I think we should do Dear Zuckerman, which feels like a real segment. Do you know what Dear Zuckerman is?
No.
These are real Dear Abby letters, or letters sent in to the New York Times. And instead of Abby or the New York Times answering them, Zuckerman answers them.
All right. That sounds like fun.
And Jerry, you can weigh in.
Is it car related?
Nope.
No,
Why? You want to talk about cars?
Yeah. That's
All right,
what the show's about.
Is it?
Yes, it's a car radio show.
This is one of our most popular segments.
I'm not interested, but go ahead.
Oh, well, with that lead off, thank you.
If you've got
Thank
some,
you. I'm going to get on the
I
stage.
do like Zuckerman's opinions, but
if you want to talk cars, go ahead. What would you like to talk about? We're ready.
Well, do one of these. I want to see what it's like.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, thanks.
Dear Zuckerman.
You could take the pressure.
My parents hosted a party on the 4th of July. I invited a close friend of 20 years, and she brought her new boyfriend. He was nice when he showed up, but after a few drinks, he started using vulgar language around my mother, even after I asked him to stop. He began a loud argument with the neighbors and harassed people who were walking on the street. The next day, I called my friend and told her I don't blame her for her boyfriend's behavior, but since he disrespected our guests, I feel unsafe around him. I never want to see him again, she told me. I was overreacting. Dear Zuckerman, am I overreacting?
Oh, you're not. I mean, the guy's a drunken louse. And the girlfriend's the codependent. She says, it wasn't that bad. He was cursing. He tried to molest your mother. He tried to fight with the neighbors. It wasn't a big deal. No, I mean, the guy doesn't get to come back unless he's sober or he's gone. I mean, come on. The guy's 86th from the party. Goodbye. No one needs that.
Have you ever dealt with this type of behavior? In your house?
No.
No? No one ever's gotten drunk and you said you can't come back?
No. Well, we did have, there was a very famous incident.
Really?
With a famous female comedian who got drunk at a big party at my house in Long Island.
Wow.
Howard Stern. And then I think she eventually got clean as a result.
There you go.
It was detailed on the Howard Stern show. You can look it up.
Yeah, so...
That's exactly right. I was going to say the person has a drinking problem and they can't help that and get them some help.
They can't help that?
Jerry's not very enlightened. Letter number 2.
Who's going to help it then? Someone.
Let me see if this is a good letter. Hold on. I found some. These are all letters that Zuckerman sent me. Oh, I like this one. No. Hold on. Let's see.
Where was the one about the MSG spike? That was my favorite.
Here we go. Dear Zuckerman, my aunt has always been a hypochondriac and attention seeker.
Oh, no.
That's an interesting combination.
How unusual.
A few years ago, she decided she was allergic to MSG, and since then, every family gathering revolves around this allergy. She insists on approving ingredients in anything anyone cooks because she claims it's in all kinds of products. She's made events, including my graduation party, all about her by feigning illness and saying she knows there must have been MSG in something.
That's so funny.
I wanted to know for sure if she actually was, so I made a sweet and salty dessert and added MSG to it, and lo and behold, she ate it and was fine. I never meant for her to find out, but I shared the recipe with a friend. It got back to my cousin, and now my whole family knows. My aunt accused me. This sounds like a Seinfeld story we would have done.
Yeah.
My aunt accused me of trying to poison her and refuses to come to any events that I'm attending. My parents just want me to apologize, but to me, this is not a bad outcome. Mr. Zuckerman, am I wrong here?
No, it sounds like you got exactly what you wanted. You don't have to deal with her. She's gone. You got rid of her.
My question is, why, with so many people annoying you, do you then turn around and decide to annoy us?
She could have died, this lady.
MSG actually occurs naturally. That's all a fantasy, Ferris.
Don't you think MSG is so old-timey? We don't even talk about it anymore.
MSG got a bad rap that was all a fable. It was like the microwave getting you sick and giving you cancer. There's nothing that MSG does to anybody. It's, you know what? A bunch of Jewish ladies on Long Island would eat 4 quarts of Chinese food on Sunday night and wonder why they don't feel good. You don't feel good because you ate like a fucking pig. It's why you don't feel good. It's not the MSG. It was the egg drop soup, the egg foo young, the spare ribs, the lo mein, chow mein.
And the salt.
and the salt. And then buckets of rice.
Right.
and you're supposed to feel good after that.
I think it's the salt. I think it's the salt. All right, one last letter. Dear Zuckerman. I let my friend stay at my lake house for a long weekend while I was away. I returned to find 6 loads of dirty laundry, furniture moved all over the place, and a pile of water toys in my shed. Without so much as a thank you note for letting them stay, I was upset and let them know it. Not only did they fail to apologize, they criticized my reaction. I feel gaslit. These people are like family to me, but I'm not sure I can forgive them. Their response to my complaint was worse than the original inconsiderate behavior. What can I do?
But she did the wrong thing. The right thing to do is just, you don't say a word. You just never let them use the lake house again.
Yeah.
That's the lesson you learn. Oh, they don't get to use it again. You don't need to say anything about it. You're dumb to say anything about it.
We stay at a lake house at some friends. For many summers we've stayed there, and what's nice about what they do is they lay out all the rules, right down to please squeegee the shower doors.
Right.
There's paper and rules around all of the house, so you can't mess it up, which I appreciate. So I know I just do these things, and then I'll be a good guest. When you have folks staying at your guest house, What do you do?
Nothing.
Do you care?
No, we don't care.
You don't
the
care.
maid to
What do
clean
I
up
care?
too.
You do
right?
whatever you want, right?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
You know, you've invited me to stay at your guest house before, and it terrified me.
Well, did you do it?
No, I don't think so.
You would love it.
I'm sure I would, but I didn't want to bother you. What's
That's
wrong
nice.
with me?
What's wrong with you? It's a little out of your way. Long Island, Eastern Long
Anytime
Island.
somebody invites me over, I just don't want to bother them. Why would I come
Oh,
and
I feel the
inconvenience
exact
you?
same way.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Do you think we're bugging Zuckerman tonight?
No, we're not staying over.
Can we?
You guys always stay a finite amount of time. You stay the perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit, right?
Yes.
Hour or two.
Everybody assumes that people don't want to get back to their lives. They do. They don't need 4-hour entertainments. These movies that go on for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Your stuff is not that great. We want to get back to our lives. We like our lives, even though they're horrible. We like them.
If you watch on the Criterion Channel the old film noir movies from the 40s and 50s, they were all 90 minutes.
Really?
They understood
You hear that,
90
Spike?
minutes.
We have to keep that in mind.
Weren't we learning something about movies back then? What was our friend Bo was telling us something about a movie time stat was the same time.
It had to do with a dream segment. that you
REM
dream-
sleep was 90 minutes.
Yeah, right.
As was a movie
Yeah.
back
And
in
then
the
something
day.
long was reserved for something important, like Lawrence of Arabia.
Yes.
Okay, this is something we're going to stay longer
Right,
for
yeah.
because it's super special.
Right.
And then maybe Godfather will stay a little longer. It's special. Now, everybody wants to. There's nothing special. Everything's 2 hours and a half. Who do you want to sit there for?
Yeah. It's just ego run mad.
We're 3 days away from wrapping shooting, Zuckerman.
Amazing.
And I don't know, Jerry, you'll still come on the show, right? You'll be back.
Of course. I'll be back a lot.
You'll be back a lot. You'll stay here with the SCR
Yeah,
audience.
Sure.
Because they love it. They love it when you're...
Let's have some car questions.
Let's do one more ad. I know they're annoying. And then that's the last one of the show. And we're going to do all of these great car questions. We're talking about
You're
our
learning
friend.
to like the smell of the cigars, aren't you, a little bit?
I'm beginning to.
Yeah, you're
endure
very
it.
relaxed tonight, Zuckerman. You haven't complained once about cigars. You're very chill. I think this vacation becomes you.
It's the jet lag. I was stunned.
Doesn't he? He's not. He's
you do
not
seem nice and chilled out.
nice and chilled out.
Okay, the pills are working.
Athletic Greens also works. They have a great product. We use these on the show, Jerry. You probably haven't used it yet, but Athletic
I
Greens.
see all
What is
you
it?
You guys having it.
Delicious scoop of Athletic Greens. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. I want to snort adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, aging, all those things, plus meditation and espresso and Athletic Greens. That's what we do on this movie to get us through these days. You can go there now, and it's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, artificial anything, while you're still tasting good, delicious drink. It costs less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with the monkeypox is on the way. Get your Athletic Greens right now. We're headed into cold and flu season. I like that. We never.
Wants to talk about this part.
Who's that? Wait. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll take a break in a second. Let me just get this out. We're casting a movie right now. Isn't that exciting? Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/spike911. athleticgreens.com/spike911. Go to spikecodes.com, and all these codes are there, and you can get yourself a lot of free stuff, vitamin D, 5 free travel packs. You want to do questions first?
Okay. How much more time we got? How much time have we done?
We've done 45 minutes.
Yeah, let's
and
observe
we'll
our own.
This audience would love us to go 2 hours, but usually we go about an hour. So
Okay.
we'll do another
All right,
15
let's do
minutes.
another 15.
Okay. Within the imaginary world, this question, you get 1 car for New York City, 1 car for Long Island, and 1 for LA. What is it, Jerry? What is your New York City car? The G-Wagon, right?
The old G-Wagon is the greatest Manhattan vehicle because of its height, narrowness, and shortness, and toughness. The new G-Wagon, obviously better in every way, but it lacks the economy of space taking that a Manhattan vehicle needs. So to drive around Manhattan, an old G-Wagon, by old I mean like 2000s from then on. For Long Island, Speedster, and for LA, anything pre-73 is or an SC. We've been having a lot of SCs have a way of pulling you into the experience. The way you have to focus on the shifting and steering, you really have to get involved with it to make it go smoothly and quickly, and it takes your mind off of your things that bother you. So those are my choices.
What are your drive to work cars, Zuckerman? I was thinking about this the other day.
Drives everything to work.
Yeah, but what do you drive more often than not?
You know, everything's in the rotation. This past week, I drove the 71 280 SL. I drove the 58 Speedster. I drove the 66 Dunkelblau.
Wow.
I drove the red 993 Turbo with 400 miles on it.
Which
I got offered a 993 Turbo, silver with linen interior, like 200 miles or something on it. Crazy number.
Did you see the one that was offered to me a
I
couple
did.
hours
That,
ago? We'll
that
talk
caught
about
my
that.
eye. That caught my eye.
Did. We should talk about
because
that.
I love those.
But Zuckerman,
I had no interest in it.
you had an exciting development with your 280 SL, which you already loved.
Which I already love, but the last time we drove it, when we drove up PCH,
It was chugga-chuggy.
I was engaged in some spirited driving, and I noticed I lost an engine mount, and I could tell that because there became a kind of a rattle, a vibration in the drivetrain going into first gear, the torquing of the engine, and then just the power delivery was just not smooth and right. So George, our Hungarian friend at Motor Doctor, he came, he picked up the car, and he took it down to the shop. He got engine mounts. This is another thing. What would have taken, usually an afternoon to get these parts took 3 weeks, but we got the parts in. He put the engine mounts on. It has secured the engine, tightened up the drivetrain. It is like driving a brand new car.
Isn't that a great experience?
I want you to take this car. It is so smooth. It is so tight. It's so responsive. It's everything this car should be with a 5-speed.
So the car I drove, you feel misrepresented.
100%.
Wow, that's exciting. I can't wait to try it.
Yeah.
Are we driving tomorrow, by the way?
drive it.
Absolutely.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm going to Joe C's tomorrow. Either of you are invited to join in. It's a bit of a schlep. It's Van Nuys, but his shop, I got all the race cars there and the old aluminum
We
cars.
owe him a debt of gratitude for a story we'll tell another time.
Well, he doesn't get anything out of it if you visit him, but it is a pretty entertaining car experience if you're interested.
It's great. When are you going?
Anytime in the afternoon after our coffee.
Okay. Could be tennis time. All right. I want to know this too. What are Jerry's true thoughts, as if you wouldn't give us your true thoughts, on the 996? And do you own any 996s?
I don't.
I didn't know this.
I had the first 996 built in the year 2000. I thought that was cool for some reason. I owned that for a minute. It was a car that Jimmy Spader and I drove my 73 RS down to see a consumer, what do they call it, a focus group?
Yeah.
They were focus grouping it. And Jimmy Spader, who was my great pal for many years, loves the 73 RS. His dream car is a Viper Green 73 RS. And we went down there in the late 90s with Sam, and they had all these 996s, and you never saw three sadder faces coming out of that focus group. We could not believe what they did to the 911. Now, and for years I disliked it, and I still dislike it. The interior is so bad; it's just
gross.
impossible to find a way into it. But when I see them now from the outside, the size of it and the smoothness of it does appeal to me a little bit. I actually look at it now and go, it has some appealing aesthetics that I do like. It's mostly about the size. You know, it looks like a smooth car. What do you think of them?
I think the 4S from behind looks good.
Yeah,
I can
4S is a nice car, but now you're going into the later.
Yeah,
cars.
so that I can get behind, but I agree with you that interior is so hard to take.
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
makes you feel gross being in there.
Yeah.
You know, when the headlight treatment was, I get it, the guy tried to do something else, but it was a misfire.
Yeah.
Am I interested? I always liked your
GT3.
Spike, your GT3.
Yeah.
That's a real special car.
Yeah.
That was a great car. Yeah.
Yeah. I would get a yellow 996 GT3.
Wow.
One
That's
of the few
a cool
yellow
idea.
cars I would get.
I like the rocker on those cars. I like the way they did that rocker. It was like a twisted pretzel.
Yeah. Well, they're affordable, and that's why I think we get a lot of questions about them, because I think a lot of folks are looking at them. 993 Andy is posing a question I get a lot, but he's here, so I'm going to say it. It's really a comment. This liquid-cooled thing.
Yeah.
Air-cooled cars are really oil-cooled cars, and oil is a liquid.
Shut up, Andy. Next question.
To get picked and then to be shat upon.
All cars have oil.
For the whole group, with your busy schedules you all seem to have, do you guys make time for drives within those schedules, or just go for one when a chance presents itself?
This is some legalese. I can't even penetrate.
Trick question. What's the trick? I don't understand
We
the
had to
trick.
break a witness here. We go when we can. Spike and I are very busy right now. We can't do anything during the week.
But we did find a couple of hours that always worked for us on Saturdays and go to the same place.
Yeah.
Right?
And sometimes when we were in the prep phase, we would get an afternoon and we would race out for a drive. Anytime we can, we run and do it. That's the beauty of the car hobby. Instant 45-minute vacation. There's very few things like that.
Yeah. We had it today. Dr. Kyle Stanley, doctor.
No, Dr. Kyle. What do you think of this mole?
It's a good question. Does Jerry have theories on lowering his Porsches, and why does he do it? I'm paraphrasing.
I'm comfortable lowering them to Euro ride heights. I won't go below that. Although, if it's a race car, if we're talking about an ST, a TR, or something from the 60s, like 8-ball, like what you had, those cars are cool to lower because they're race cars, and you can, if they're slammed, it does make them look cooler. But the rest of the stuff, I don't love it. I once had a conversation with Tony Hatter. I wanted him to explain to me, why do VW Beetles look so great slammed? What is it about that car that when they're slammed, they just look so cool? And any car looks good slammed, really. It just compresses it. It makes it sleeker. So, I don't know. What was the question?
Have you lowered it?
I lowered my 79 Target to Euro height. It looks a lot better. The US height is too high.
Why?
996s were too high.
Are Euro
993
roads that much
turbos
better? Are Euro roads better? Is that why they're lower?
Yes, they are.
They are.
The bed is deeper. The roads in Germany, the bed is 6 foot deep. Here in America, it's like 2-3 feet. That's why they turn to apple crumble after 2 years.
Who would you consider your biggest car culture influence, and why?
Who influenced me?
Who influenced you
The most?
the most?
Sam Cabilio.
Really?
And you, I would
And
say.
me?
Yeah.
But before me, I mean, when I first...
Before you, I just had the magazines. I had no one to talk to.
Really?
I have a
Was it
friend-
Letterman at all?
Letterman and I used to talk about cars in the commercial. Letterman and I really got excited about when the 944 Turbo came out.
Right.
He got one, I got one, and I remember him writing on one of those blue cards during a commercial segment. I said, "How's that 944 Turbo?" And he wrote on the card, "Hot butter."
Because he couldn't say that. The audience was too loud. Why did he
You know
write
how
it?
loud the band is during the commercial.
Yeah.
You can't talk.
On purpose.
Yeah.
He doesn't want
Oh,
to
really?
talk. Yeah. Why do you think it's so loud during commercials? Save it for the show, Jerry. Hot butter. What? I'm sorry. I was putting my dinner order down. What'd you say? What? 44.
I'm gonna get some corn on the cob.
Get some corn on the
I
cob
thought, what
later.
should I have with it? I got it. Hot butter.
Oh boy, these questions. New York friend of a friend. What do you think of the Volkswagen Type 3 Fastback from a driving perspective?
Love it, love it, love it. It was an era of cleanliness, the steel wheels with the slots, the simplicity. That was great VW era, the early 70s. Fiat's in the early 70s, VW in the 60s and 70s, MG in the mid-60s, Mercedes in the late 60s, early 70s. Cars, you gotta... There were times when and it just comes together for these companies, and they put out a lot of stuff that's just great, and it comes and goes, right? They have moments, and then they lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of you guys have an 8-track tape in your cars? And you do, Zuckerman. What car of
Absolutely.
yours did I just drive that had an 8-track in it? Oh, the 66.
Dunkelblau. Yeah.
Wow.
And it has the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, and it
that's
works.
Great. That's
The
great.
guy who ordered that car new opted not to get a radio. He thought AM FM was over, that it was going to be about 8 tracks.
Wow.
So it only has an 8-track player in
That's
it.
the coolest.
He was right. 30 years too early. He was right. But what we like to do is we also, maybe it was the 87, right? The cassette tape?
Yeah.
You go on eBay and there are new 8-tracks and new cassettes. Maniacs save these things. You can buy
NOS.
them. Yeah, you buy 5 for your car. You throw them in the front boot.
Look, when you fell in with us, you had started collecting some cars. I think we mostly unsatisfactory experiences you were having, and then you got in with us, and we directed you into the Porsche cult. If you had not met us and you had continued left to your own devices, what would have happened?
I'd probably be driving a Stutz right now.
Stutz Bearcat.
That's Bearcat. Imagine calling a car a Bearcat. What do you think we should call it? How about Leopold? How about the Alpha Ray?
Yeah.
I got it. A Bearcat.
Bearcat.
Those are all pretty strong.
But let's go with Bearcat. Mr. Stutz, you're a genius.
Stutz, you've done it. You've done it.
The Bearcat. You're going to sell 6 of those. Well, that's our show, everybody. Good news is we're going to Pebble Beach. They did find us hotel rooms, so we've got reservations. I'm handling those, and we're going to do a show. And any combination of myself and Jerry and Zuckerman and Johnny Lieberman and Tony Hatter and Grant Larson, somebody will be on that stage having fun with you all, and I'll get that link out to you so you can get tickets. And I think, they might actually be free this year. I think we're part of just the Pebble Beach Concours thing. You buy a ticket, you get to come to our thing. It's going to be Saturday at 1:40 Saturday at the lodge, as I understand it. But it's on in a big way, and we're pretty excited to come there and hang out with you guys and smoke cigars. That's the show. Jerry, thank you.
Thank you
For coming on. Zuckerman.
Always fun.
The hospitality, the Mexican food, the new calm Zuckerman. A pleasure to be around.
Yeah, you are really just a water lily on a Chinese lagoon.
We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.
Thanks for listening to Spike's Car Radio, brought to you by Hangar 56. Listen to new episodes every Wednesday, and be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.